I'm going to be comparing the Equalizer movies to the High School Musical films because in part one of this series, I compared Equalizer to Marley and Me. Equalizer 1, I compared the Monsterverse to the High School Musical films. The High School Musical films 1. So now I'm going to be comparing Equalizer and High School Musical. When you look at highest score for each franchise, Equalizer Part 3 has a 76%. High School Musical Part 2 has an 83%. When you look at lowest score, Equalizer Part 2 only has a 52%. Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure has a 60%. When you look at average score, Equalizer has an average of 63. High School Musical is an average of 68. When you look at gap between lowest and highest score, you got a gap of 24 in the case of Equalizer and gap of 23 in the case of High School Musical. So by literally only 1%, High School Musical wins this round. It's won every round so far, so it's going to win. But let's look at my personal opinion. I think on a quality level, these two franchises are frankly pretty close to each other. I've seen all three of the Equalizer movies. I actually got to watch Equalizer Part 3 in theaters with my mom, which I really enjoyed. I've seen the main three High School Musical films. I just have not seen Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure. I watched all of these movies for the first time within the last few years. Back in the day, in the 90s, we got a lot of R-rated action films, but we're not getting as many of those anymore. There's just a few that are still coming out and getting good reviews. Extraction, Equalizer, John Wick. So whenever one of these films does come out, it's a big deal. High School Musical is a series that started on Disney Channel. They're fun, lighthearted, entertaining, family musical movies, whereas Equalizer films are obviously for adults. They're more mature, more serious, definitely not as fun. These are two different franchises, that is for sure. What I think is interesting about the Equalizer films is we see that our main character knows how to interact with regular people. We see that, yeah, he is totally capable of being pleasant, friendly, and affable when he's talking with people that are not trying to screw him over, that aren't criminals or anything along those lines. And then as soon as he realizes there's a problem that needs to be corrected, we see that he's able to very quickly switch from being charming, affable, to being the equalizer. Makes him different from John Wick, who doesn't really interact much with normal people. He pretty much exclusively is interacting with other members of the assassin underworld, so he doesn't really know as much how to interact with normal people or really be affable. I think the visuals in Equalizer films, as well as the High School Musical films, are quite good. Neither one of these franchises is particularly flashy. They're not big spectacle films or anything like that. I think the acting in these films is quite good. I like the stories in both cases. When it comes to High School Musical, I like that we see the journey that Troy Bolton is on, going from just the basketball guy, the basketball captain, to someone who also likes to sing, who likes theater. By the time he gets to High School Musical 3, Troy has fully embraced that. We see also how the relationship with Gabriella develops. I like that even though those two characters are clearly, Sharpay and Ryan are antagonists, they're not really villains. We see that at the end of all these movies, they actually fully accept that Troy and Gabriella have succeeded in what they're trying to do. Also, I like that Equalizer Part 3 takes place in Italy. That makes it feel a bit different from the other Equalizer films. For me personally, I think I would choose the Equalizer movies just because, as I said earlier, we're not getting as many R-rated action films as we were back in the day. So it stands out a bit more. Whereas High School Musical is another Disney Channel series of movies like Descendants or Zombies or Halloween Town. So it's just not the same thing. I really enjoy High School Musical films, but they don't stand out the same way Equalizer does. So wrap things up for this video. I prefer Equalizer, but High School Musical is one in this case.